Today's devotional comes from the book of Romans, chapter 12, verse 3. For by the grace given to me, I say to everyone among you, not to think of yourself more highly than you ought to think, but to think with sober judgment, each according to the measure of faith that God has assigned. I'm not much, but I'm all I think about. So many decisions, each and most, if not all of them, are centered on self. Each of us has a set of scales constantly weighing the pros and cons of our behavior. However, the instinct to protect self can run amok. Suddenly, protection of self becomes promotion of self. Erroneously, we fear no one else is going to speak up for us, so if we want to be heard or recognized, we better blow our own horn. Either that, or deep down, the way we see ourselves is distorted, that we seek to bolster our perception with self-service. Seeing ourselves as right-sized can be a lifetime process for some. Finally, settling in, we find it fits like nothing else. Moving forward, if you were making a color wheel, what colors would love be? Happiness and peace. So self. Wow. Yeah. Was I worried about what I would say to you in this reflection today? Even before I read it, I was anxious about whether I would have anything profound or meaningful to say. I'm not clergy. I'm not a teacher. As I drove over to prepare before the taping, I was trying to think of stories or inspirational things that might fit whatever the devotion was about. Yep, it was self indeed. But as I drove by the goats on Sherwood Circle, have you seen those goats? You got to go see them if you haven't. They're really, really cute. But as I drove by, I got distracted, right? And instead of worrying about what I might say, I started to pray, asking God to guide me in what I should say. So I have God to thank for this devotional, for reminding me to think with sober judgment, not to think highly of myself. My thoughts on this devotion are not about me. They're about God, His grace, His goodness, and His love. I'm thankful for this reminder that when I settle into God's abiding presence, it's not about me. It's all about Him. Thanks be to God, and blessings and love to each of you, my Advent family.